Newswatch. News you can trust.
CVM Don Anderson poll reveals most Jamaicans think the Man and Coke inquiry was a failure.
A previous report by CVM News has been confirmed. Censure motion against Dr. Peter Phillips dropped amid major ruckus in the House. I'm Andrew Cannon and I'll have the details.
Overall improvement in GSAT performance, but Education Minister has concerns. Another public sector group accepts government's wage offer, and help is on the way for teen badly beaten by a schoolmate.
This is your Newswatch Hour. A very good evening to you. I am Carolyn Brown.
And I'm Dwayne Burbick. Irvin Forbes will join us later for Business Watch.
Also later on, Patricia K. Aarons will have Weather Watch, and Wayne Walker will be at the sports desk.
All that in your Newswatch Hour, so do stay with us, and after the break, Carolyn and I will have the news in detail.
Thanks so much for staying with us, and a special welcome to you on Hot 102. 3 times as many Jamaicans think the recent Man and Coke Commission of Inquiry was a failure than those who thought it worked. Michelle Thomas has the numbers as we continue to unveil the findings of the CVM-commissioned Don Anderson polls.
As we carried on Monday, views were almost evenly split on whether Jamaicans felt the holding of the inquiry was a good or bad idea, but it's their verdict on the deliberations which makes for interesting analysis. The legal drama from the Jamaica Conference Center was witnessed live in homes and offices in and outside Jamaica for several weeks. Now here's the verdict of the people based on responses to our poll question. Almost half of the 1,004 persons polled said the Man and Coke inquiry was a failure. To be precise, 49%. 17% said the probe was a success, while 34% of respondents could not make up their mind on the matter. Of course, fieldwork for the poll was conducted before the report of the commissioners was made public. Of the group that felt the inquiry failed to achieve its objectives, the largest portion, 37%, came to this position, arguing that the outcome was in doubt. 21% said the inquiry was a failure, as no one will be punished. 19% felt it was a waste of taxpayers' money. As to the other reasons given, 11% of respondents said there was a trust deficit. 2% felt the proceedings didn't lead to the truth, and 2% said it was a big political campaign. As to those who thought the inquiry was successful, a significant 65% said the truth was uncovered. Other reasons for giving the commission the thumbs up was that it helped to confirm corruption exists and provided members of the public with useful information. 5% of the group said they now know what the Prime Minister is about. Others say they became more aware of government procedures, and the final 2% felt the inquiry led to the breaking up of gangs. The responses were gathered between May 5 and 23, several weeks before the report from the commissioners was made public. However, the sentiments of the majority of those polled seem to be reflected in press releases and public commentary since June 14, when the report was tabled in Parliament.
Passing grade, no, and it's really closer to an F. Maybe if I'm kind today, I'll make it an E.
Human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice has since described the Manet report as weak, saying the commissioners failed to recommend sanctions for the relevant parties, even after finding there was inappropriate action. And the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce has chided the commissioners for not carrying out their investigative duty or being thorough during the proceedings. Michelle Thomas, CVM News.
And a reminder that tonight's poll findings will be published on our website, cvmtv.com. And tomorrow, Jamaicans react to whether they think there should be resignations over the issue, and if so, who should resign.
As was previously intimated by CVM in Newswatch on Sunday, Dr. Peter Phillips will not face a censure motion. Official word came from the government MP who had moved the motion, Gregory Mayer, earlier today. That, however, did not soothe PNP members, as the party's chairman described the move as reckless and careless in the first place. Andrew Cannon was in the House.
It was billed as a top face-off in some circles, the PNP versus the JLP in pound-for-pound action over Dr. Peter Phillips' signing of two controversial MOUs with foreign governments. As we had indicated on Sunday, though, the showdown would not be on the cards. The man who had tabled the motion gave the confirmation.
I therefore find at this time no reason why to pursue this matter.
Howls of mocking laughter from the opposition benches followed the declaration. An explanation was forthcoming. It was, as CVM News had highlighted Sunday, the issue has already been dealt with in the Manat report. Could there be another reason, though? No, the empty chairs on the government section of the aisle. Mr. Goulding, Mr. Vaz, Mr. Samuda, Mr. Shaw, all absent. Therefore, the government was indeed short on numbers to push through the motion. Be that as it may, the opposition was not thrilled at the turn of events. They had their members out in full swing. Peter Bunting was livid. He pressed for an apology.
If this motion were just to be withdrawn without giving an opportunity, first of all, decency would demand that the member apologize to the member for being contrite. But if he is allowed to withdraw it without comment, then it would amount to an abuse of the processes of this House.
The party's chairman was also on his feet, prompting the speaker to ask.
So you want to debate it?
Well, my answer to that, you asked me a question. Yes, I want to debate it.
He reasoned that if the motion is to be withdrawn, permission should be given by the House, but clearly tired of it all, the Speaker had heard enough.
What has been intimated to me by the government side is that they're not proceeding today, and I said, withdraw it. And that is what has happened, that it is going to be withdrawn. So, listen, it is on my instructions that it will be withdrawn today, that it is going to be withdrawn. So if you want it to be postponed, to be debated at another time, it can be done.
That would not be done. No future debate would take place. Now that the censure motion against Dr. Peter Phillips has been withdrawn, it is not the end of the matter, at least in Gordon House. That's because the Member of Parliament for Central Manchester, Peter Bunting, has tabled a resolution to discuss the findings of the Manat inquiry. When that takes place, expect more heated crossfire. Reporting for CVM News, I'm Andrew Cannon.
Over the past 5 years, the Ministry of Labour and Social Security has been losing millions of dollars due to fraud. The disclosure was made by Minister of Local and Social Security Pernell Charles at today's parliamentary sitting following a performance audit by the Auditor General. Based on the audit, since 2006, there have been 7 incidents of fraud which caused the ministry to lose $8.7 million. The minister did, however, indicate that of the $8.7 million, $6.8 million was recovered, resulting in a true loss of $1.9 million. For example, there was misappropriation of $2.1 million in the NIS pension payments over the 5-year period. The individual was convicted and made a payment in the amount of $1.2 million. As another example of recovery, it was cited that there was a re-encashment of $5.7 million worth of past checks, but the bank accepted liability and the full amount was reimbursed. The minister says systems are being worked on to prevent further losses from fraudulent activities.
It's also difficult for us to see how can people get the return checks and recash them. And therefore, these are things that now they have been exposed, we have put barriers around to prevent. We are not sure that we are able to cover everyone, but we are more alert. We have set up stronger systems as a result of the exposure by the Auditor General.